Hello, welcome back to another episode of my Garage Podcast. In this episode, I'm just going to be explaining some things and why I took a break, but mostly it's going to be a kind of philosophy stuff. There's going to be a little bit of updates on the DAO and how that's been performing. Well, first things first, I don't know if I said this in my last episode, but I started to get basically I got all my college information back, and right now I got accepted to UC Santa Barbara and Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, and I got waitlisted at UCLA, which I'm pretty proud of, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure a lot of people got waitlisted. And then I got rejected from from Berkeley, and then from Irvine. For those two schools, I plan to, or at least for Berkeley, I plan Berkeley and UCLA. I plan to detest that, and for UCLA, I have to explain that that I want to be waitlisted and all this others and just some other extra stuff. Just basically explaining why I should be reconsidered to getting into these schools. And that's due like May 14th. And over these next 2 weeks, I'm going to be trying to work on that and trying to explain my case as to why I should be let into these schools. Some things I want to start off with before we start to give some updates and explaining why I took a break. Over the past 5 days, the Dow Jones Industrial has been down, and through the past month it's actually been on the rise. At one point, or from the last time I talked, it was really low and was hitting $45,000, and now it's getting back to the peak of $50,000 again, and going back to hitting record highs. And also many of these indexes like the NASDAQ and the S&P 500 over the past, like, when the war in Iran was announced, those indexes greatly declined and they lost a lot of money. But there has been some sort of recovery, which is good. It shows that industries are starting to somewhat recover. I haven't been paying too much attention to it recently. I've been kind of busy with school, and then I was in spring break and just a whole bunch of things that culminated. So I didn't. I just wanted to avoid working on this. But basically, they're starting to recover. And in these next couple of weeks, another update that I wanted to share is that Jerome Powell's the head Fed chair who decides interest rates. His term is ending soon in May, I'm pretty sure. So his voting is going to be considered again, and in these next couple of months, we're going to see who's going to be next couple of weeks, we're going to be seeing who's the next Fed chair, the head of the Fed. And also, when it comes to the race for the Fed chair, is that, as I previously said, Donald Trump had his own nominee, and his nominee, I'm not exactly too sure what it was, but his nominee was being questioned. One of the, I think, congressmen or whoever it was started to question him, and one of the questions they asked him was, who did Donald Trump lose the 2020 election? And he could not answer that question. He just kept avoiding it and kept saying that it was pointless. And this brings up major questions into his loyalty and if he will be a fully independent chair, or will he follow along like many of Donald Trump's cabinet and follow what Trump says and just lowering interest rates or I mean, lowering interest rates at a pace that might be too rapid for how for how the job market's performing, and if they're not too careful, it might actually have the opposite effect where inflation is rising. And if that is the goal that Trump wants to have, I could see how that could be potentially good for people, those who have a lot of savings and have a high yield savings account where they get a lot more interest. And if their interest is a lot more, say that you have $1 million and you're getting like 0.1%, that's like what is that exactly? You're getting like, if you have like a 0.1% or 0.0%, you're getting like $10,000 on $1 million if you have $1 million in your savings, which is kind of a drastic thing to say, but with Trump's friends, and that's pretty safe to say with how much they have in savings. And now kind of getting back to some personal stuff. Why I took a break. Well, basically last week I had spring break, and that week I just didn't want to do any schoolwork and just kind of focus on relaxing and just enjoying my break, because I don't know, for these past couple weeks I've been feeling really burnt out and just kind of, I don't know, really anxious. I feel like a lot of things in my life are changing right now, and I don't know. I'm excited for the change, but I'm also scared because I don't know. I mean, not I don't know. I'm scared because it's a new thing, and with new things, I just don't want to make mistakes that can be avoided. But I feel like that's something I can't really control. I can try to minimize how many mistakes I make through like calculating what my next steps would be, but knowing everything, and I feel like that's just really hard to predict what might go wrong. Like, I thought I was gonna get into Berkeley and then be able to live out the dreams that I have, but it didn't end up going in my way, and I don't know, I just been really scared to make mistakes because I feel like I make a lot of mistakes, and when I do make a mistake, I feel like I put so much pressure on myself, and when I put a lot of pressure on myself, I just constantly replay that memory in my mind where I'm thinking about how I messed up and how I could have done better. But I feel like my family has been telling me like it's okay to make mistakes, and I just learn for the next time and just learn to plan better. And I just learn from these things, and if I do make the same mistake again, or it's so I can avoid making the same mistake again, because I know, because I went through this previously, and I think like, I just put this glove on because I saw it, but I think one of the mistakes that I learned from and that I won't do again is just being scared to leave, because in high school, when I got the schools that I got back to was UC Santa Cruz and Michigan State University, I was scared to leave and be in a situation that I didn't know what to do. And now that I know that, I probably won't make the same mistake again. this time I will leave and make my life, because I find that when I'm on my own and I'm able to have my own space, that I perform so much better and I'm able to fully focus on what is needed of me and just be a better person all around. And I don't know, just not be as fearful as I usually am. So I think that's what I'm really looking forward to, especially when I do eventually leave and I'm able to start creating my own life. Um, and I guess some new updates with me in school and what's going to be happening, or at least over the summer. I plan to take these 2 classes I need to transfer, that are required, and hopefully I'm a little scared because I was supposed to do them before, but I didn't think I was going to get into Cal Poly Slow, so I didn't I didn't do it this semester, and I was going to plan to do it over. If I didn't get accepted to any of the other schools I did, I was going to plan to do it over next year, or next semester. But now that I did get accepted to SLO, I plan to do these other classes over the summer, and I'm very hopeful, and I'm just kind of, I don't know, just been trying to talk to the school and ask if these classes can be done over the summer. So that's my next step, and I'm a little scared, but not really, because I looked at the 2 classes I need to take, and it's a total of like 20 hours that I need to be doing weekly on just assignments. And um, um, but the way I see it, that's just like a regular part-time job. So I don't feel too bad about it, but it's still more time that I need to be spending on school, and just when I'm kind of already burnt out. I'm also have to apply for housing, um, and then next semester, or next um, school year, when I do transfer, I'm gonna have to move out. It's gonna be a scary thing. I feel like I'm gonna be sad and scared and crying, but I think it's also gonna be a good thing, because I've dreamed of this for so long, just to move out and kind of create my own life, and that's what I'm most excited about. Um, and also, another update about me is just I've been really anxious, and I think when I'm really anxious, and for most people, we just build these things up in our mind, and especially people like me who have ADHD, um, build up in our mind, and it's a lot harder to schedule things and stick to a specific schedule. But I feel like with the support of my family and just help from people and professionals and kind of doctors, I've been able to somewhat manage it. And the way I've been able to manage it is through medication, and then also through writing down all the things I need to do, and writing things, and just communicating with people what I need and why I need this. And I feel like that's been really helpful for my anxiety, and what, especially when I get scared. Um, with my current classes, I now have 3 classes, because my 4th class, it was an 8-week class. And with that class, I'm a little nervous, or I was a little nervous. That programming class, I was a little nervous. Uh, I did okay. I didn't get the grade that I wanted to, but at least I got a passing grade. Um, and now, I feel like things are starting to ramp up, because on Friday, or last week, I had a lot of stuff I needed to do. Or when I look back on it, it doesn't seem that much, but in the moment, it seemed like a lot, where I had this discussion post I needed to make, and it was like a paragraph, or like 2 paragraphs I needed to write. And then on Friday, I had this speech I needed to do, and then that took me all day, and I feel like that was even worse because I had to memorize the speech, and record it, and then have like three people in front of me, and like my family members in front of me, and it was a little scary, or it was a little just nerve wracking because it was a speech about like community college and just my experience and what I went through. And when I say it in front of my family, I don't know, it's a little embarrassing, but I was still able to do all my work this week. And I feel like what's really been helping me is planning it and putting in my reminders and all the things I needed to do. Um, I don't know. I feel like I've been rambling and just saying the same thing, but I feel like that's it. And just kind of been some updates on what's been going on in my life and just kind of what I've been going through. Thank you guys for watching, and please continue to support.